Okay, disclaimer for this video. It's not really ASMR. Like, it's not good ASMR. It's quite loud. Yeah. So, if you're trying to go to sleep, do not watch this. And be careful if you're wearing headphones because it's really loud. Yeah, okay. Bye-bye. Hope you enjoy. Hello, everybody. I have a special guest here today. And it's nobody you've ever met before. Okay, guys? Guess. 3 seconds to guess who it is. It's either A, another one of my cousins, B, Dan and Phil, or C, Milo.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi.
Go subscribe to Elijah. He uploads daily.
I don't. Look at this one. It's pretty good, huh? Anyways.
If you want some more content like that, go subscribe to him.
If you guys want any more kidnapping content, you know where to find me.
Let's get on with the ASMR now. Okay.
Oh, sorry. We have a brush. No, that.
I'm gonna do Elijah's face.
So soft.
Why is it greasy? Let's find something else to tap on. I'll read a section from it. This is damn. Look, I accidentally spilled hot chocolate on this, so it's kind of sticky. It's brown. I just never read this book before.
Oh, it's called The Urge.
What is it?
It was a crisp winter's night in London, England. It was that particular time in late January where there was no longer any frost, but simply biting cold air which filled a completely empty atmosphere. Dan Howell was walking down the road. His tall black silhouette cast shadows in the artificial amber glow of the street lamps. His breath formed swirls of the mist in every What?
1 second, let me grab a fan.
I dropped her retainer. Her teeth are on the floor.
Wait.
Dude, why?
Go up for this.
Turn a fan on. It's so hot. Somebody help me. Do I look despicable? Oh, goddamn.
Here's my retainers. Let me fan you.
Just a nice winter breeze. Fucking snowstorm.
Turn the page again. Look, those fits are clean. Bro, where'd it go? I'm trying to whisper.
ASMR. I love ASMR. It's my favorite sensor thing. I love ASMR.
Dan Howell was walking down the road. His tall black silhouette casts shadows from the artificial amber glow of the streetlights. His breath formed swirl.
Miss with every what the
exhalation? Okay. And he decided to slide his exposed hands inside his coat pockets to retain some warmth. The street was empty at this time, and his footsteps echoed up and down around him.
only interrupted by his crushing hum of a taxi driving by. He wasn't totally alone after all. Dan had time to
think about what had happened the night before. The events had played in his head so many times over that he didn't know whether he could trust their accuracy or if his own perceptions had rewritten how the events unfolded. Anyway, he thought about it. One thing was certain: his friend Phil Lester was dead.
I had a habit of always being in the worst place at the wrong time. It was an endearing quality that often resulted in funny stories for him to share with his friends or his followers on the internet. He was a kind person. Perhaps that's why he was singled out as a victim. It wasn't fair. A painful stab of recollection shot through Dan's brain as it's forcing itself through a wall that he had built to protect himself. He saw it again. The dead, lifeless eyes, the way it moved so swiftly out of the darkness, the blood. The blood was most vivid memory of all. That had somehow found himself collapsed in the corner, unable to move. But out of the corner of his eye he saw the crimson trail of his friend's life weaving around the cobblestone of the street up and down the train. Dan saw his hand twitching.
Those last moments of resistance. For you.
Last moments of resistance. In hope that someone would be able to save him. It stopped. That is the last time he saw Phil Lester alive. Dan arrived home to his apartment. It felt wrong. Opening the door to the living room, the usual bright colors of their possession seemed inappropriate, disrespectful even. How could anything dare to be so bright at this time? He turned off the lights and collapsed on the gray carpet of the hallway, sleep. The next day was to be Phil's funeral. Dan had no interest in going. His friendship with personal to him, and not something he wanted to share with family and friends who would mean well, but insulted with every word of comfort. He decided that even if he had to attend physically, he would be somewhere else in his mind. He had to. Dan remained silent and stoic through the service. People left to return to their lives, their relatives changing called
CONDOLENCES. Condolences, that's what it is.
living down alone in the room with the coffin. He didn't want to look. It would be real if he saw. He wanted to run away as fast as he could from this nightmare, but he had to see. Dan strode over and gazed into the box, lifeless, even with Phil's typical pale skin. You used to see the warm glow of life within. Dan went to turn away, to walk out of the room into a life where everything familiar was gone, when something grabbed his wrist. Don't go. It's okay. Dan turned to see the same pale skin he had just his memory gripping at his shirt. Dude, this is freaky. He looked up slowly as his dead friend sat bolt upright. Dan ran, but not stopping to blink, breathe, or process a single thought. He sprinted out to the back exit, all the way across the grounds of the building, to underneath a tree. He vomited. It wasn't real. He was hysterical. He tried to rationalize his thought in his head as his eyes shook with distress. I can't read, by the way. Dan, stop running. I'm not gonna hurt you. He spun around to see Phil standing upright, as if completely fine, with his hands towards, as if
Anticipating.
Rational behavior. You can't, this can't be real, Dan said, grasping behind his back to try and hold onto the tree as if it were tethered to reality. Oh, you know I'm real, Dan. This is real, and I think you know why. No! Dan shouted and pushed Phil backwards with utter belief.
Phil grabbed Dan's wrist and pinned him against the tree. Whoa!
The sharper edges prodding uncomfortably into his back as the tree itself was pushing towards him. The nightmare. It was a vampire. The words penetrated into Dan's head and seemed to pour down on his soul, as if everything he had been trying to not believe in the last 2 days was sinking like quicksand. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but it explains it well enough, Dan said in his calmer tone, clearly aware of Dan's slow realization. You aren't the real one, Phil, Dan said in a flat, emotionless tone. His head was bowed into Phil's grip. It seemed Dan wasn't trying to resist anymore. If you're what saying is true, you aren't Phil. You're just a beast possessing his body. He looked up and stared into Phil's eyes. He didn't see the bright blue pools of life that it used to. He saw emptiness. He must be right. Phil stared back at Dan, seeing his brown irises blazing with fury. Phil let his grip loosen for a second. Dan realized and swung a punch as hard as he could. Whoa! Oh my god, hitting Phil square in the jaw. Phil reached towards his lip blood. He looked down in a strange way and glanced back up. Dan, who seemed to almost be expecting something. Phil decided to wipe the blood on his shirt. I won't lie, Phil said, rearranging his suit jacket and sweeping his black hair away from his eyes. I feel different. I feel urges still know who I am, what I do. What the difference is between right and wrong, and yet something is within me, something primal. Shut up, Dan said, clenching his fist and visibly shaking with rage. You are not my friend! If I have to destroy this body to give him peace, do not think I won't! Dan spun around, reaching for a sharp wood that was cutting into his back. In one sure motion, he snapped the branch and immediately swung towards Phil.
I'm gonna vomit.
Slow motion, then backwards smacked the branch from Dan's hand and grabbed him by his throat. Dan's head banged against the tree with force that shook the leaves from the branches, falling over the boy's shoulders as his breath was heavy. He could feel the beads of sweat forming on his forehead. This was fear. He tried to move, but the force his friend was applying to his neck seemed immovable and impossible.
Phil stepped closer until their noses touched, and Dan looked directly into his eyes. I could kill you. Every fiber of me is urging to tilt your back head, bite your neck. But I choose not to. What? Dan said, spitting out warmth before taking in a huge gasp. I don't want to kill you. I want you to join me. Dan felt his heart drop in pressure. An overwhelming stillness waved through his body until he was stunned into silence. No, please, he stuttered. You don't have a choice, but I do. I appreciate it, Phil. Think about it. Things can't continue like normal. We can tell everyone it was one of those miracle situations where I was never actually dead. We can go back to our apartment and continue our normal lives with some dietary adjustments, I guess. Dan had completely lost his ability to think. A part of it made sense. Maybe it was okay if he didn't have to lose his friend or his own life. He knew it wasn't true, though, even though Phil was right in front of him and there was no breath coming out of his lips. Only the sensation. He experienced the damp chill of Paul's skin pressing against his. Just then, Dan noticed a man who must have been the groundskeeper walking in the distance. Dan made his choice, and he knew it would be the Might Run. Help! Dan shouted, shaking as hard as he could, causing Phil to almost loosen his grip. He's trying to... Then he felt it. 2 short stabs pierced his skin of the neck. Dan dropped his arms and buckled his knees. He had lost.
Let me readjust. Oh, fuck my knee!
Phil moved in closer, pinning Dan's body against the tree as if he gulped gallons of thick blood through his teeth and down his throat. Phil almost felt himself losing control, feeling a desire to completely give in to the more powerful force within. No, he said, pulling away, feeling the blood run down his neck past the collar of his t-shirt. Quickly, he raised his wrist and pierced his own veins. Drink! He ordered, pressing his wrist against Dan's mouth. Dan, with the last moments of his fading energy, attempted to resist, pitifully shrugging his shoulders. It wouldn't be enough. His natural instinct to breathe opened his lips, and the pungent taste of iron filled his mouth and flowed across his tongue. Dan's vision faded to black. Blinking, vision hazy and unclear. A yellow light, a white ceiling. After that, seemed like a dreaming eternity, unable to move. Dan's eyes focused and noticed the familiar patterns of his bedroom ceiling. He was home. Had it been a bad dream? It's like Australian. He asked himself this, and he reached to touch his bare chest with his fingers. He still could feel. Surely it meant that he was still alive. His hand stopped, palm lying over his chest. He tried to focus all his senses on detecting something. Anything, no pulse. He looked upright, suddenly noticed Phil sitting in a chair, leaning over the bed. How do you feel? He asked. What seemed like a degree of confidence. Dan's eyes darted up and down, trying to decide what he made this person, or whatever it was, who sat next to him. He sat up and swung his legs over the bed, hitting his head with a strange new assuredness he had never felt before. He locked his eyes with his friend. Hungry, Dan said. Feelings in the urge, a biological mission he had never felt to begin. Me too, Phil said with a smirk. Why don't we come find something to eat? The end.
Oh, my knee!
Okay, now it's my section of reading. Okay, this is The Hand. Dan and Phil fanfiction by Phil Lester.
Phil woke up covered in sweat and screaming. He wiped his muscular brow as he got out of bed. The nightmare had been something else. Weird, he said, as he did his morning routine of 300 sit-ups. Dan was already in the kitchen, making a delicious breakfast of bacon pancakes with extra maple syrup.
Oh, hey, D-Slice, said Phil.
Dan looked horrified. What's wrong? Phil asked, as a bead of sweat dripped from his forehead and bounced off the mutant finger, protruding out of his
shooting out of his body.
Your body. There's something happening to you, said Dan. Phil looked down in horror to see a human hand starting to grow out of his chest. Just below the... It wasn't just growing, it was moving. In shock, Dan dropped his syrupy spatula to his leather jeans and ruined them forever. No more leather jeans for Dan. We need to call the army, he told his raven-haired friend. Dan, no, they'll experiment on me. I don't want to die, Phil said, as he let out a single tear, not being afraid to show emotion in front of his true best friend. They decided to keep it a secret. Over the next few weeks, the hand grew and grew. Phil continued to make YouTube videos. He just wouldn't film below the nipple. He had to keep this a secret from everyone. Dan and Phil even taught the hand some of their secret best friend handshakes. It was responding to the fun. When they watched Game of Thrones, the hand even started twitching with glee. Later that month, something unexpected happened. Dan and Phil were finishing another pancake session when the hand started violently vibrating. Dan, help! Phil screamed as the hand started. What is that? G-E-S-T-I-C?
Gesticulating?
Gesticulating? Wildly. I have a little spit in my throat. Dan could only stand and watch as the hand started to extend out of Phil's chest. The hand was reaching for Dan. Instinctively, he started pulling it, and something happened that none of the British boys would have ever expected.
Jack the mask.
Oh, yikes.
Ba 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 ba. I gotta finish this ASMR. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Instinctively, he started. Oh, wait, okay. After a full.
Oh my god.
After a few pulls, there wasn't just a hand. There was an arm and an elbow. An entire human was being dragged out of the inside of Phil. He was giving birth.
Whoa.
There was a giant wet explosion.
Oh, his nipple exploded. Wet explosion.
All there was left of Phil was a lump of skin, and there, standing in the kitchen, was a completely naked Harry Styles.
What the?
Dan gave him a pepper pot to cover his modesty. Thanks for pulling me out of there, mate, said Harry as he grabbed a pancake from the pan and walked out of the door. Dan looked into the middle. Dan looked. I hit your nose, I'm sorry. His face was no longer filled with confusion. It was no longer filled with horror. It was filled with revenge. To be continued.
DQ, Harry.
That's it.
I just ate a rat. Fell into a trap.
I'm not a vampire. I'm a chair.
Huh?
I'll fix your problem. Hold the phone! So this is the end.
Goodbye.
Bye bye. Thank you for watching. What the? Until next time. Okay, bye.